The things that you said to me, they will grow inside, they make believe. I am still dancing on the feelings that you gave me. I am still dancing on the feelings that you give me.
I know you're a monster. I know you're a monster.
afternoon.
Holy Jesus, it's bright as shit in here. Alexa,
Oh,
turn Kevin's lamp 10%.
but we look good.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a lot. That's 1,000 times better. That thing was like the sun in here, like, "Whoa!"
It's all good. We figure it out. But welcome to episode 31 of Those Two Nerds podcast. I am Veer Coach, also known as Veer Coach TV, the guy that does everything, coach, just the guy that's here. And then we also have aside me with the also handsome.
Long-haired hippie Nictus from Nictus Plays Games.
And that's what it's all about. So we're going to kind of jump into it kind of quick today. Not be messing around at all. How was your week? What did you do? What were you up to?
Man, so much stuff. Pokemon Day, right? A huge Pokemon fan. I know you're a fan, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm on like another level, right?
For sure.
Wow, look at that. There we go. Now
Yeah,
we're gonna get the camera fixed.
I was fixing it, okay?
So I mean, yeah, they did some cool announcements this week, and I did some live streaming of Let's Go Eevee, caught some Pokemons, made some friends.
That's what it's all about. We're here just to make friends. We actually don't do anything other than make friends. That's what our whole goal is when we play. Long week. I finally got back into streaming like I told you guys I would. I think we had like 4 or 5 streams this week, about 2-3 hours long. So I stayed pretty true. Started around 9, and sometimes went later, sometimes didn't. But it was overall pretty good. Little bit of viewership response was pretty nice. Got some new subs, and that's always fun. So can't go wrong. But I know we were kind of discussing before we came on the show, just out of randomness, because that's what we are. Coming back to MTG.
Yeah, we're coming out of retirement, and we don't mean that just going to the pre-releases.
No, beware. We're coming for you.
We're coming back.
And we're coming with a vengeance.
Nictus has been out of retirement and needs to taste the tears of little children again.
Yeah.
At the magic table.
And just know that, coming to a local nerd store near you, we'll be there. And when you think we're not there, we're there. But I know we kind of talked about this. I actually talked with one of our viewers. He kind of comes in. I think he comes in as Abel, but could be wrong. He might be here right now. I've talked to him about coming back and actually like training and doing that stuff to actually try to make a good push with like Magic and stuff, because it's a full-time career.
Yeah, if you're gonna play it, you gotta pretty much stay on top of it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, those guys, they play probably tons and tons of games a day, and they're constantly playing. But if that's your job, then nobody can punish you for being there on for 8 hours,
right?
Or so I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun.
We haven't decided. I think we're gonna probably come back to standard first, kind of get our toes back wet into competitive Magic, and I think Arena is probably the best place to do that. For one, we can stream it, and that is a bonus because that gives us more content to stream.
Yeah.
2, it doesn't cost as much to play Arena as it does paper Magic cards.
No, we sat down and like kind of looked at the numbers between the wild cards that you get and the other things. You can almost probably have every card that's legitimately good in standard and probably in most of the top 5 decks for about $300.
Probably, yeah. I think that's what we figured. So to put that in terms for people who don't really understand, normally we go and we would buy entire boxes of cards. Or if we didn't want to do that, we would go out and buy singles for the decks that we wanted to play.
For sure.
And to sometimes build one deck in paper Magic, it would cost anywhere between, for a really good deck, I don't know,
$400 to $500,
$200 to $600, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you're playing.
And it depends on what you've opened.
$200 to $600. That's quite a gap.
Yeah, and the big thing is at the time, I didn't have a good job, and you were kind of funding the Magic.
I was
fund.
basically funding the Magic Club, and trying to also make my good decks while still having enough cards to let you guys have good decks.
Yeah, so
it's hard.
It's tough, but at the same time, it's very worth it because Magic's really fun. Especially if you have the time to go to the Grand Prix or go to pre-releases and all these Friday Night Magic tournaments and stuff like that, because prizes are sweet. I've especially big shout out to like Comic Town, like they've always given out some good prizes. Also,
they're a huge staple in the Magic community here in Central Ohio.
Yeah.
They're one of the biggest. I think they are the biggest now.
For sure.
They pair up with Star City Games quite a bit. They run exclusive tournaments. They have GPs there.
Door prizes.
They play every format too. So if you have a format, even a weird format, and you're like, I really want to play that, they play it. If you're a Commander guy, they have Commander I think they actually have it 2 nights a week now. They have it on Sundays and I think on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
They have tons of space to play, so if you're in the Columbus area, go check them out. And if you like comic books, P.S., they have those too.
Yeah.
All the comic books.
Yeah.
And they have a podcast out
Yeah.
there, Black, White, and Red all over,
For
I
sure.
believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've actually been hit up by huge people in the comic world, people like Mark Miller,
Yeah.
who came up with the entire Ultimates universe and the Wanted series, and I mean, his accolades just go on and on and on. The guy's huge. He gave him a shout out like that. That's like you're a professional athlete, and then like your hero comes out and says, "Hey, you guys are doing a great job." So you're a basketball player, right? And you just started in the NBA, and you're like, "Yay, I'm the best." And then Michael Jordan's like, "Hey, kid, you're pretty good." That's what that's like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I mean, we've been going to Comic Town for years. I mean, since I was a little kid, from my dad. Going to pre-releases with you guys, just kind of watching and stuff. And we didn't even really do much. You guys would pretty much buy us a comic book when we got there, and our job was to, quote unquote, read it. When all of a sudden we just kind of walked around. We would always go to the Subway. That was like the move, the power move, because it was right next door. But I can count many hours that I spent in that store when I was going hard, and I was like kind of like solo mission.
You were playing a lot of limited.
I was playing draft.
There's nothing wrong with that. Draft is fun.
All draft, and like I was pretty much went rogue. Like I was like, I'm gonna be the very best.
He just no lie. Like up till that point, we used to play together.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, let's go to Friday Night Magic. We would either play Constructed or we go up and play Draft. And then he just got an itch. He's like, I'm gonna go scope one on Tuesday. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Arsene Winger. Thanks for the follow.
Yeah, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, no, we started playing, and like I said, I kind of went rogue. Like I was playing like every night they had draft, I was there. And then Friday Night Magic we would play because we actually built the really decent decks. And which kind of sucked was like right when we built the decent decks, they were kind of falling back out of standard, which was unfortunate. But the lands are always worth something.
And I've been trying to get him into Arena, right? I mean, he plays a little. It's not like you don't play.
Yeah.
But 754 fam.
Yeah, thank you for the follow.
Thanks for the follow.
Man, we're really cruising out here, guys. Welcome everybody to the podcast. If you're first tuning in, this is the talk show for Nerd Talk. We talk about every genre, everything you can think of. Make sure you ask your questions. Feel free. We answer all questions when we have some time.
Yep.
When we have some gaps in between stories and stuff like that. So seriously, welcome everybody. Kind of good start for the day.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Warming my heart.
People were here on time.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I really feel that going at Arena is going to be good.
Yeah.
And if you're in, I'm in. In fact, I might even start after today. I have to stop though after this and get like thanks Shorty Girl for following. I'm not sure who all these people are, but thank you.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for all the follows. That is I feel so I wasn't going to cry. I said I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
Jason likes the stream. Thanks, Jason. This is I don't even know what to do. Like, what do we do now?
Just remain
Let's just
calm.
run away. Let's just run away,
Just
okay?
remain calm, guys. All right.
All too easy.
Thanks for the like, Julia.
Yeah. Where's my love? This is cool. If you guys don't know this, and you guys are obviously new, like
I also have a channel.
like his notifications pop up on his head. Don't get baited by that one. We're not gonna get baited here. But yeah, man. It's Shorty G. Okay. What's up, Grayon?
I think it's supposed to be like Dick Grayson, like Robin from Batman.
Oh, maybe. But
Viracocha is rude. It's true. He
I'm
is.
not rude.
He's
I'm
rude
not
a
rude.
little bit.
I'm truthful.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
Only a face a mom can love.
Oh,
It's true.
wow.
It's all good. That's fine.
See, I knew we had some lurkers out there. I knew we had some people that we can't see.
Yeah, but guys, but kind of back to Magic and stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, it's all about putting the time in. And the nice thing about Magic is, especially if you have a buddy that plays a lot, you can play test, you can proxy cards, which I know Abel does it a lot. He proxies these cards and plays with his buddies every week, and that's how he's gotten a lot better. And anybody that's looking to get into Magic, it's a great way. Arena is probably the best way, I would say, to save money and actually get into it, learn the rules.
And it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free to play too. So if you want to invest very little and just learn, right? It's the best way to learn.
Yeah, for
Aside from your buddy coming over saying, "Here's some cards, let's learn." But maybe you don't have a friend that plays, or maybe you don't live near a card store or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's one of those things where it's like it doesn't feel like Hearthstone where you had to invest a ton of money and it was still a lot of luck once you were opening these packs and stuff with these wild cards that allow you to say, hey, you know, I got a rare wild card. I can go out and pick any rare card I want and go grab a copy of it. And that to me is awesome.
I like that. I like that so much better than the disenchanting from Hearthstone.
Because it felt disenchanting, felt a little busted on the overall, like, oh, you know, my epic's worth X amount, but this legendary's like 5 gold epics, or something like that. And I'm like, okay, you open up a gold. That's like saying, okay, well, I need 5 of your foil uncommons to make a rare.
Well, it's like when we started playing and they didn't have rarities on the cards, and you'd see these guys at the shop like, I will trade you these 20 mountains, which you really need to make that red deck for your Lord of the Pit.
Yeah.
And they're like, 20 for one? Absolutely. And then they trade it off. And then and you're like, you're a turd. Like, you're a turd of a human being to do that.
Yeah. I was wasting my life saving for virtual pieces of cardboard.
I like wasting my life savings. There you go.
But at the same time, it depends on what you're doing with it. Like, would I say the average player that just wants to kind of play? No, I probably wouldn't go drop hundreds of dollars. But if it was a game that I enjoyed and I knew that there was a competitive market for it and I was a competitive person, the rank play ladder is the best way, because if you're, diamond or something like that, or whatever the highest rank you can get in there, legendary rank, you know, people notice that. A lot of people like to watch these streams. So
plus, that's how you get invited to events.
Yeah, you can get invited to events being the top 100. I believe
something like that. Yeah,
your top 100, and there's also
they have open qualifiers and stuff too that you can get on and just play
totally online, and that's the nice thing about it. Also, I mean, it still doesn't take away from paper magic. Magic's still there.
It's not going anywhere.
No, and
they're still making cards. That's still going to happen.
But the nice thing is okay. Well, I can drop $100 on this said deck. Go out and play, go out online, play the deck, and I actually like this deck. Okay, well now I'm more interested to drop that $400-$500 price tag maybe for the deck that's paper. That way I can go to these Grand Prix at stores.
That's the best thing about the arena is if you are a free to play player.
Yeah,
you absolutely, if you're just learning how to play and you don't want to spend any money, they give you a bunch of stuff to start.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just play to unlock the rest of it. You don't even have to be good. You just play, right?
For sure.
And they give you plenty of opportunities to get gold, to buy more packs, or to enter tournaments, or do whatever you want to. You're not getting all the cosmetics and stuff. That's not happening.
For sure.
If you want to be an entirely free to play player, you're not getting all the cosmetics. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
But they give you plenty of opportunities for currency that you can earn in the game to get that stuff. Some of it. And they run events all the time, like they're doing the Constellation God thing right now. Last week they did Perforos. This week they're doing the Green God, whose name escapes me. So like you get an opportunity to get that foil shiny alternate art card for, I think her name's Nyla.
Yeah.
Get a kick out. It's got Ash and Ryan in EDH game Friday night against my Sliver deck, and a random dude jumped in with a colorless Eldrazi deck. Well, that sounds like a whole bunch of not fun. I should have brought my colorless Karn deck. Everybody loves that deck.
Karn. Fear the Karn.
Fear the Karn.
But no, I mean, I feel like we definitely sat down and kind of talked about this kind of little bit of closing out on this topic. And I know we're going to talk about your topic. That
we're actually going to go into that after this.
Yeah,
since it's related.
So I think we're going to do it. We haven't really decided what we're going to step into first. We don't know if we're actually going to full back dive into paper. Definitely arena, most likely, just because that's best bang for your buck.
Yeah, plus I've already got a really good head start in arena.
Yeah, and I mean, we can kind of look at it, and we may try to produce more content for that, because we're always open to new ideas and stuff like that. So we're excited. I think this is going to be kind of neat. We're going to probably talk a little bit more about it, and probably after we're done talking, I'll probably try to think of a video that we can make up, get some content out there. So
yeah, I think it'll be good. You just got to get on the arena, man. You got to play.
Yeah. Well, I know playing, I mean, the win streak bonus that you get in the game, I mean, you can really grind. If you have a top 8 deck and you're playing it, I would say you're probably winning 60 to 70% of your matchups early on.
Yep.
Like early on, and then you pretty much
You'll climb the ladder super quick.
Yeah, you'll hit about plat in almost probably, I don't know.
I've hit platinum rank once. I think I hit platinum 2 or whatever it's called. But it was a grind. But the thing is, I was actually playing decks that weren't considered like the top tier decks.
Yeah.
So like you can get there. It's just you're gonna work a little harder for it.
Yeah. And I got gold 1 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I got gold 1, and I was playing red deck wins.
Yeah. And that deck was super simple.
It was super simple. It was cheap.
Yeah, it didn't cost hardly nothing. It was like all commons and uncommons. And if you didn't have all the rares, it wasn't like the end of the world. You didn't need the rares for the deck to be good.
Yep. Pretty much. It had about 10 rares in it, and the rest were like uncommons and burns, so it was pretty funny.
So, carrying on with the Magic topics, I sent you this clip earlier in the week. Yeah. I thought it was really interesting. Magic Fest happened last month, okay? And there was, I don't know if you watched it was on Netflix, there was Enter the Battlefield or something like that. It's basically a documentary on professional Magic players. So there was a kid on that one, and when I say a kid, I mean like a kid. She was 6 when that documentary aired. She had been playing Magic for 3 years prior to that, so she started playing Magic at 3 years old. Now I don't know how much she grasped or comprehended. Yeah. So she was in the documentary. She's played at the pro level since 6 years old, and last month at Magic Fest Austin, 9 years old, Dana Fisher set a new world record for becoming the youngest Magic the Gathering player to win cash at a Grand Prix. Her final record was 10-4-1, and then she peaked at 13th place with an 8-1 record at the end of the first day. She made it to day 2 in a Grand Prix at 9 years old.
Yeah, I think the crazy thing was, because I was actually kind of Googling that fact, there's only been one person, the youngest person to ever win a tournament, full-on championship, was in 2004, and that was set by, I can't remember exactly who it was, but it was a 15-year-old, like 15 years old, and you're a pro, and you just won like $250,000.
Yeah, I don't know how much money she won.
Yeah,
it's not important. The fact is that this kid at 9 years old has done better in her Magic career than I ever did, and I feel like I've played longer. I feel like I've worked harder at it. But I mean, listen to her, like her talk, listening to her speak about the game, and listening to her do her tournament write-up on all the matchups that she played. I mean, and by the way, she was playing in Modern. She wasn't playing in Standard. She was playing in a hard format, Modern, where all kinds of crazy stuff happens.
Combos, yeah.
So she was playing she calls it her signature green-black elf deck. She's almost always played green-black, but she also plays another deck that's green-black, a little deck called Dredge. And Dredge is not an easy deck to play, but she plays it very well. So she ended up doing pretty well. She got cash. I guess her and her dad traveled to all these things, and they played in these Grand Prix. But I think she's better than he is now.
Yeah, I think honestly, if we would kind of back to making the comeback, I think if we come back, I would love to travel. I feel like that would be dope.
I think that'd be really cool. You're not going to do that on Arena, but I'd love to play the older formats. I just don't think that Standard's where it's at. I'd rather play Modern or Pioneer, because that's like the new hotness in Magic right now is Pioneer. Everyone is loving that format. For sure. We'll have to look at that and break it down and say which formats would be the best ones for us to jump into and play. Yeah. Hey, Bulldog, 1992. What is going on? Favorite Disney movie? He's asking what our favorite Disney movie is. Like, ever? Traditional Disney or all the crap that they have bought?
Interesting.
Because if you're going to go with all the crap that they have bought, they own Star Wars, and I would say that Star Wars is my favorite movie that Disney owns.
I was going to say, yeah, if you're going off like my childhood / our childhood, I would say like all of Disney. Yeah, I mean, you can go with any Marvel movie.
Yeah, but if I'm going to go with like traditional stuff that Disney created, I would go with the animated Robin Hood. I always loved that movie as a kid. I don't know why. I did.
I think mine was... I didn't watch a lot of Hercules. It was
good show though.
Hercules was good. I'm trying to think what... I can't remember the movie. I really
mean, there's Aladdin and...
I used to watch a lot of Toy Story. I know that.
Yeah, Toy Story was sweet.
Toy Story I always won.
That's a hard question.
We're not aiming for the truck. But I would say Toy Story and obviously like Star Wars and Marvel. I mean, you can't go wrong there.
No.
We actually had a heated debate at work the other day. I came in and like I mean, I work with a bunch of nerds. I am a programmer. Like,
Yeah.
these people are full-fledged nerds and stuff like that 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
We were arguing because this one guy has never seen not only any of the Lord of the Rings, no Hobbits, no nothing, not a single Star Wars movie.
I don't know how you could have lived this long in your life and be a nerd.
And
It's not like
yeah.
these guys are professional athletes or they were jocks in school or they were the cool kids. They were nerds. They've been playing on computers.
Yeah.
Do they know Star Trek? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, was there something nerdy that they liked?
I don't know. I didn't even get into Star Trek, but I felt personally like that.
You felt attacked. You're like,
You at least see one or the other. Like, I've heard of people like, oh, I've seen all the Star Wars, I've never seen Lord of the Rings, or vice versa. I've seen Lord of the Rings,
seen that
never
too.
seen Star Wars. But that's fine. Take one or the other. Those
you know
are
what
like
amazes me is the
those are
amount of
movies.
attractive people that love Harry Potter. I'm
Harry-
talking dudes, girls, everybody loves Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is one of those movies where I don't think it's that good. I really don't.
I like the books.
Like, the books are, I mean, yeah, but what my thing was is I feel like Harry Potter is the most basic thing in the world. Like, it's way more popular than what it should be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Wow, shots fired, y'all. You're not a Harry Potter fan.
nothing against it. Really, seriously, nothing against it. I personally didn't like them.
Okay.
I've seen
I'm only a little bit offended. That's fine.
I've seen up to the first 4, and like, yeah, did they have neat concepts, and like
So you haven't finished watching it.
I've seen like 7. I've seen 7, and I've seen bits and pieces of 6. I don't think I've ever seen 5. I don't think I've ever like, I've seen just bits and pieces of it. And I just get bored. Like, I just don't feel like watching it any longer.
Well, that's fair.
I watch it and I'm like,
It's not for everybody. That's why it
But,
doesn't
like-
have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know.
But like Lord of the Rings, I could sit down every weekend and I would grind Hobbit through all the Lord of the Rings.
That's what
trilogy.
amazes me because I feel that the Lord of the Rings stories are harder to get into than Harry Potter.
Whatever.
They're way less relatable because at least Harry Potter takes place in a modern world with modern things that you can
They're
understand.
taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Dude, I get it, right? I love the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies and the books. I love them all.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it. Have you actually read the Lord of the Rings books? Like, they're very hard to read. The way that he writes is very detailed.
Yeah.
Like, it's very detailed. He goes into all this very descriptive stories and backstories about the hobbits and their culture. He goes on for like 20 or 30 pages in the first couple of chapters talking about nothing that you'll ever care about again about the culture of hobbits.
Yeah, but my thing is
No, I'm not saying that Lord of the Rings is worse than Harry Potter. I just said that I like them both.
It's good.
I like Lord of the Rings better, but I also like Harry Potter.
There was only one negative thing in all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy with Hobbit and everything, and that was Battle for Five Armies, because that never happened.
Well, no, it didn't happen.
But it
and
was
I don't
still good. It
How
was
did
just...
they stretch that movie out into 3 movies?
Okay, so first,
That should have been 1 4-hour epic and then the end.
If there's anything I ever remember from a book, trust me, I don't read a lot. But if there's anything I remember from the book of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, is the whole like dwarves just showing up at Bilbo's house,
yeah.
and just coming on in, just like one at a time.
Yeah, that happens. Like that's
And-
accurate.
And when they're all drinking and they're doing that and like they're singing and all that stuff and like goofing off, like, and Bilbo's just infuriated, right? Just so frustrated.
Yeah.
And I just remember that from the book, like that whole scene, and when they recreated that in the movie,
Oh, it was accurate.
I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like the movies, they started out fine. I thought the first Hobbit was fine. I thought the second Hobbit movie was fine.
it was great.
And they talked about the Battle of the Five Armies in the books, but not for very long.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
And then Smaug.
But in the story's pretty much over when Smaug dies.
Yeah.
When I'm sorry, his name's Smough.
Smough?
When they kill
Oh,
Smough, like the book is pretty much done.
Yeah. And then they made a whole nother...
They made a whole other movie that didn't happen.
But it was so good because
They added in like an albino orc and riding on a white wolf. Like that's not in the books, guys. It's not in there.
But it's always one... Like, I sit there and I think, I'm like, the Battle of the Five Armies is like all battle. It's so
like
beautiful.
it's the worst of the Lord of the Rings stuff,
Oh, for sure.
but it's still pretty good.
Like, the whole character build up, like, because somebody actually, like I said, we were talking about this at work. When you're talking about the movies, if you were a new person, never have seen the movies, how would you tell them to watch the movies? And I said, honestly, now, it's kind of, because it's set up like Star Wars, 4, 5, and 6 are Lord of the Rings, Fellowship.
I would tell them to
Tough.
completely skip over the Hobbit series and just watch Lord of the Rings.
No. No,
Because
no.
it's so good. And watch the extended versions.
But you have a deeper appreciation for Smeagol and Gollum. You have a deep appreciation for him because he first gets seen, with the ring. So now you understand the obsession with the ring. Because before in the Twin Towers and stuff, you don't get that.
See, when I was reading the books, I thought that, and much like the movies, I felt like the second book, The Two Towers, the second movie was the most forgettable of the movies and the books. I felt like it wasn't bad. I feel like nothing really that important happened, even though a lot did. It was easy. Like I read it in like 2 days and I was done, and I feel like nothing stuck with me.
Yeah.
Like when you're reading the first book, that whole gathering of them and their first outward journey, and
Balrog.
Frodo realizing what he has to do, and Gandalf making his speeches, and like all of that sticks with you. Those are all very memorable scenes. And then at the end, I mean, with the final battles and where the king comes back, and like there's memorable, but like in the second one, I feel like it wasn't bad. It did bridge the stories, but I don't know. It was the most forgettable of the stories.
I just love what World of Warcraft did with Lord of the Rings when they made the whole comment of when they were sitting there, and like if you type in jokes and stuff like that, they're like, all right, we're gonna have this magical band and we're gonna call it the Fellowship of the Ring. And then there's gonna be some towers, and then somebody yells out, hey, the king's back, because it's Return of the King. But I gotta say, maybe I had some Mandela effect the other day when I was watching Lord of the Rings Twin Towers.
I just don't think that
Is it Twin Towers or Two Towers?
The Two Towers.
The Two Towers, okay. So the Two Towers, I'm sitting there watching it, and like, obviously, like I almost spit out.
You had this epiphany, like, because I feel like you have not watched the Lord of the Rings movies all the way through since you were younger.
Yeah,
I think you've watched the first one a couple of times. Mm-hmm. I think you've probably watched Return of the King when it was on. But to like actually sit down and watch it from beginning to end, probably not since you were young.
I about spit out my Coca-Cola this weekend. This week when I was sitting there watching it, and they were talking, and obviously like I'm a big memer. Like that's so funny to me. Like I don't know if you guys have ever heard it, but go look it up on Google or YouTube. It's like Taking the Hobbits to Isengard, and it's like a 10-hour version. Just watch it, and I'm telling you, you'll go and watch the movie. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just listening to it. I'm programming, and I'm just listening to it. And all of a sudden, I hear, like, Legos's footsteps, like, going up the rock. And then all of a sudden, he says, I'm taking the hobbits to Isengard. And I'm just like almost spitting out my drink. Because it was so unexpected, and I always laugh when the song's on. And then, obviously, like, Legolas and Gimli's, like, patter back and forth about, like, them counting bodies and stuff like that. Like, 48, 49. He was dead.
The amount of pop culture references that Lord of the Rings has had on all of pop culture is just, it's dumbfounding. I mean, even before the movies came out, even before the cartoons, the books are, gosh, they were written in the early 1900s. Did you know that, like, Led Zeppelin that has a couple songs where they reference stuff from Lord of the Rings?
Didn't know
Led
that.
Zeppelin. Yeah. They're not the only band, of course, other bands, but that's like one of the biggest ones I can think of off the top of my head. That one song, I believe it's called Ramblin'. They talk about the Two Towers and Gollum and the evil one. Like I was like, the first time I caught that reference, I was like, they're talking about Lord of the Rings.
But I mean, it's so good. I mean, like I said, when they're counting the bodies, and like he's like, oh, 49. He was dead, and he's like, he was still twitching. My axe is in his nervous system, is in his head. Like,
there basically would be funny. No Dungeons and Dragons. There would be no the Witcher.
How about we fight as friends?
All of these fantasy things that people are into now. None of that would exist. There would be no Skyrim. There would be none of that. Why? Lord of the Rings.
The movie itself and how it was made, like, because it was still in a time where fantasy wasn't really winning.
No, most fantasy movies were terrible.
Terrible.
And it's not the stories that they were telling's fault. It's the
CGI.
I mean,
Graphics.
anyone who doesn't believe me, go back and watch a little movie from the 90s called Dungeons and Dragons that had one of the Wayans brothers in it. And the villain had like a purple tongue for some reason. We're not really sure why. It had Jeremy Irons in it, okay? Jeremy freaking Irons is an amazing actor. And he plays the main baddie. And even he couldn't save that piece of turd.
Yeah,
it was
no.
bad.
I mean, the Lord of the Rings whole trilogy was ahead of its time. It's so beautifully done, and like I said, it made me almost want to sit down and be like, I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings, extend the cuts.
I've seen
all
them
weekend long. Like, I'm telling you, if they run it at the movie theaters, I'm going.
I saw it the last time. It was
I will.
It was amazing.
You heard it here first. People at work, I will take days off. And I will not show up to work just to go see them.
Here's the thing that amazed me. Those movies came out, it's been almost 20 years. They were selling out shows of the extended cuts. This is 3.5, 4 hour long movies. They were selling out shows of it. This is a movie that you can go buy for $10, $5. And they were selling out seats at the movie theater like last year.
Yeah.
To watch it.
Good.
Return of the King, couldn't believe it. And it wasn't a small theater. It wasn't the Ultra Screen. But it wasn't one of their small little 10-seat theaters. I mean, it was a big theater. They sold every seat out and gone.
When Gandalf comes back as Gandalf the White, it's like I said, this was the Mandela effect taking over. Because I don't remember them talking like that. Maybe I was just such an awe by the glow coming off of Gandalf the White. And he's like, oh, that's what they used to call me. Gandalf the Grey. And I'm like, this dude just stole all the loot.
He killed the Balrog, took all their treasure, and now he's playing like he's got amnesia.
Lies. But like the whole fight, the whole like build up to that, like I said, I mean the Balrog, that's my playmat like that I have on my desk.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me, when I look at it, I'm like, you know, there's no giant out there that I can't take on. I'm Gandalf. The whole world is the Balrog.
The thing that I love is every time I start watching, because the Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite one in the series. I like Return of the King. The other one's really good too. But that scene when they first come over the mountaintop and like Gandalf's leading the way and the music's playing in the background and then you see the hobbits coming in and then you see the whole party. It's like the first time that you see the entire Fellowship all together. No one's dead. They haven't broke up yet.
Spoiler.
The band hasn't broke up yet or nothing. Like they're all there.
Yeah.
Like that right there. I'm like, all right, pause. Who wants to play D&D? Like that's it for me. I'm ready to get out the books and the dice. Let's play right now. We need to go on a journey.
Like I said, Lord of the Rings, it sets the tone. This is how I judge if a movie's good. When it has those moments where you're sitting there and you're watching and you are smiling from ear to ear.
And you don't realize it.
Ear to ear, and all you feel in your back is just instant shivers and chills. And
you see that? That's goosebumps. We're talking about it right now. I got the goosebumps.
I got it right now. Yeah.
Gosh, I know it's cold in here, but no, that's that energy.
But that's the energy I want in the movie. And like I said, I mean, an Endgame that gave it to me. Infinity War, like when like Thor came back, I was like half chub. And then obviously, spoiler alert, Captain America picking up the hammer. I was like, oh my god.
At this point, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen it, that's on you.
And then Lord of the Rings, when, you know, what's his name's fighting the final dude and like just got his ass whooped by 4 arrows like in the chest and he's still fighting them off. And like, oh my god.
I felt like we could have had more moments like that in Game of Thrones, but I don't know what they were doing in that final season. It was just a big letdown for me.
Game of Thrones.
It started out really great.
Yeah.
They had like 3.5, 4 seasons that were really great, and then the rest of it was just like, I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They ran out of books. That's what happened.
All I gotta say is the best character on Game of Thrones is the Hound or the Viper. The Viper got let down early.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if the Viper would have had a good story, would have been fine.
They say, I haven't read it, that his story is a lot more in depth in the books. Multiple books.
The Viper was badass, and he deserved a way more valiant death than what he got. Like, all I gotta say, you know, like
I keep waiting because you know it's inevitable for the remake. Like, when are they remaking Lord of the Rings? I'm surprised they haven't remade Star Wars.
You can't. No, you cannot. Don't remake it. I'm begging. Do not make a remake of Lord of the Rings.
You know what's gonna happen
if they remake Lord of the Rings. You can't have Saruman and Gandalf
the-
be any two other actors.
The only way I want them to remake Lord of the Rings is if they CGI Sir Ian McKellen in 30 years from now after he's dead.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have Peter Jackson's body and brain on ice, and they let him redirect it again. And they make the movies 4 hours long each instead of 2.5 hours long each. That's the only way I'm on. That's the only way I'm on board.
But like that whole cast was so good, and they played their characters so well. Like
I'd love to see him do a new animated version of it. I'd be okay with that. Because it's not a movie, right?
Hell yeah.
But I'd like to see him do something very flashy, very stylistic. Because I loved the old Hobbit movies, the old cartoons and stuff. But that's the only way I'd be alright with it. It would have to be almost a completely different type. To make another live-action Lord of the Rings movie, no. I'd rather see you do something else. Find something from the Similarian. There's a ton of stories in there that you guys could pull from. Amazon's doing a live-action series. I guess it's like a prequel to, I think, even The Hobbit. I don't know. And I find, like, that's fine. I have no problem with that. That doesn't bother me because it's different. They're using Lord of the Rings, but that's, because it takes place in the same universe. So,
Yeah, of course.
So that doesn't bother me.
They need to have a like a movie on the tree people.
Yeah, I would watch that. I feel like there's just a lot of interesting stories in there that you could have that, that he just never got really a chance to tell.
Yeah,
but
sure.
What do I know?
But
I'm just a guy that watches movies. And that was a really depressing thought to me. I was thinking about it yesterday because as you get older, you start thinking about your mortality and you're not going to live forever.
I mean, I guess.
And then you're like, man, what happens if I die and then they come out with something great that I've always wanted, and then I didn't get to see it. Like someone who is like a huge Lord of the Rings fan, right? And then they heard that the movies are coming out and they're like old. And they never got to see him, and that would have been something that they would have loved to see. How disappointing is that? I'd be sad. I'd be in heaven. Heaven, like middle finger up in the air, like screw you guys.
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Like, at least I hope in my next life, like I'm as big of a nerd.
Yeah, I hope.
Or
so.
like hung like a donkey.
I think I like to think that maybe if there is some kind of like reincarnation or something, I think that'd be cool. I think I'd come back and do it again. But I'd like to at least keep some of the previous knowledge that I have, maybe a little wiser.
Okay, hear me out. We're about to dive into something real serious.
Are we getting philosophical here?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Imagine if you could. Okay, you could, get ready for this. All right.
She's over there smacking her head.
Hear me out. Hear me out. So you come back. Okay, you have all your past memories.
Okay.
Every memory, your body essentially would not let you tell anything of your past life.
Okay.
You can think about it. You can remember it all, everything. But you can't ever tell. Like if somebody was like,
you aren't physically able to.
You aren't physically able to
speak it, write it,
no,
or whatever.
Nothing. It's just all in your head, type thing.
I think that'd be cool. I'd be all right with that.
But what's crazy is this. Think about it this way. So, like, obviously you're with your significant other. Say you're with them for a while, whatever. You guys live and die together. But, like, they move on to their next body. You move on to your next body. Do you think there's a chance you could come back together? But that's the crazy thing. You would never know you guys were together.
Isn't that kind of the whole idea and concept behind soulmates, though? I mean, if you believe in such things, that there is one person for you in the universe, and no matter what, you will always find them.
Yes and no. Because I believe there's multiple people out there. Because I like to believe there's such thing as, like, love at first sight and soulmates and all this stuff. But, like, to say, out of all the people in the world, there's only one for you. One.
There's a lot of people on the earth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't say I got, like, 5,
but
6.
Think about,
I can make mistakes.
Think about 2,000 years ago, how many people were on the earth? Not that many.
I'm going to say
I feel like finding you're the one would be a lot easier.
Sheepskin was really
you know what I'm saying? You're finding the one when there's only 400,000 people on the earth. Pretty good odds.
Maybe in our next life, Kev, we're together forever.
I hope so. I hope that this is my legacy. I hope that this is what I'm known for when I die.
Those two nerds.
Yeah.
Very coach.
That's how much I love this show.
That's how much we're dedicated.
Dedicated.
Can't get this anywhere else.
We're a bunch of weirdos. Oh, man. What do you guys think? Oh, Julia says she found the one.
Good job, Jason.
Bravo.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Golf clap. So what do you guys think? Lord of the Rings, Hobbit,
Second Afterlife.
Great. Are they awesome or?
Second
We
Afterlife.
got really deep on you. Soulmates. You guys on board with that?
Soulmates. How about it? Yeah, I love talking about that. Like talking about like the Matrix and stuff like that, like glitches in the universes and all that stuff. Like it's real.
Well, I mean, there's people that just experience so many things that can't be coincidence. They can't be.
I believe
They can't be written off as something that's easily explainable.
I believe in there's another person out there that looks just like me.
That's like the doppelganger theory, right?
Yeah.
That they said that. I thought there was like they said there's 7 people in the world that look almost exactly like you.
True.
And I'm like, I don't think so. I like to think that I'm one unique little snowflake. Okay.
Why can't I just be unique?
I'm beautiful all by myself. I don't need to have.
What if you ran into your doppelganger?
What if it was like that movie with Jet Li, the one? Did you ever see that one where there's like the multiverse, and the one Jet Li realizes that there's a multiverse, and he's a villain, right?
Yeah.
And so he found a way to travel through the multiverses, and every time he kills one of his other versions, he becomes more powerful. But what he doesn't realize is that he's also making the other ones of him more powerful. So like they have a finite amount of energy collectively, but it's spread out among like 1,000 of them. But every time you kill one, the collective gets the residual energy. So at the end, it's just him, who's like this bad guy, and the good one who doesn't realize that he has all this power. And then Jet Li fights Jet Li. Did you see that movie?
I have not.
It was freaking awesome. You should watch that. You want to talk about awesome?
You just threw me to a mind bender right there.
That's what the whole movie was about, though.
But I like what Trudy's saying, that like, what if your one is in Asia and you're here in the United States? They probably got the coronavirus and you probably wouldn't be able to meet them. But
chances of finding each other would be tough. I'm hoping there's like one per country.
But like, even if like, okay, I'm in Ohio, the one that's in California, it ain't probably gonna happen.
Yeah, it was Julia. It was basically like the Highlander, but it was the multiverse. Where the Highlander, they're all in the same universe. This is like multiple universes.
Do you take the red pill or the blue pill?
I don't know if they live in Asia. I just feel like, okay, if the concept of like if soulmates is like a real thing.
Real thing.
It doesn't matter if they live in Asia. Some force in the universe will make it happen.
Eventually, you'll reincarnate
They
enough
will.
to where you'll come together.
They will take a trip. You will take a trip. You will get an email. You'll have some kind of contact with them.
But
if that is like a true thing.
But what happens if you're already in a relationship and you meet your soulmate? You know that's the one.
Well, that makes you a dirty whore.
You whores.
That does. I'm sorry. You already with.
You already picked.
You're already with A1. I don't care if you found the one. You stay with A1 first, okay? Because you made that commitment.
Yeah, don't.
Because maybe in their yeah, okay. And then this is the other. Like, okay, what if your one is not the same one as someone else's one? So maybe that's why you have these crazy ass stalkers and stuff, right? Because that's the one for them. But that person in this life is like, no, you're not my one.
Yeah,
my other one is this guy over here. You know?
Yeah, true. If you're the one, if you're my one, but I'm not the one for you, and like my one is somebody else, then you got a whole chain of ones.
Julia says, my soulmate grew up in Virginia and moved here. But that's not Asia. It's not like he was in Australia and you guys
could have
met.
accidentally drove into each other. Like,
Yeah, Virginia is like not that far. California, more impressive. Somewhere in Canada, okay. Australia, I'd have been like, all right, I believe in it.
they deserved you. If they got out
I
of
believe in
Australia,
it.
if they got out of Australia alive, because everything in Australia can kill you.
Everything in Australia can kill you.
Like getting donkey punched by a kangaroo, like never fun. But kind of back on topic for the evening as we close out here soon-ish.
Soon-ish. By the way, we had a whole boatload of stuff we were going to talk about.
And we got philosophical.
We're talking about this right now.
Yes. You guys have never been to my
Podunk hometown. What is meant to be will be. See, I am a firm believer of destiny is not real. I don't believe in destiny.
Destiny?
No.
I truly believe. I believe there's good and bad karma, and I believe
that's not destiny.
But I believe in destiny. I believe if you do things, like things are put in front of you to make choices, and when you make those certain choices, the destiny changes.
I think that if everything happens...
The butterfly effect.
See, okay, my thing is if everything happens for a reason, then why are terrible things happening? What's the reasoning behind that?
Because somebody did something so wrong.
No, I'm talking about people who... Alright, let's say that you're walking down the street and some serial killer who you've never met before in your life decides that he wants to abduct you, do terrible, gross sexual things to your body, and then chop you up and eat parts of you.
Okay.
What did you do to deserve that?
Hear me out here, and I'm only gonna say this once.
Okay.
You shouldn't have rolled a 1 in D&D. No, unlucky people. Like I said,
Unlucky people.
I believe that's just unlucky.
What
That's
about
unlucky.
what about little kids, right? Little kids that get hit by a train or something, and then
Jesus.
but it's not their fault. They fell onto a train track or something,
They should have better parents.
or they get abducted by some terrible, creepy people. You're telling me that was meant to be?
Hire Liam Neeson.
That's
So
why.
he'd find you.
That's why I don't believe in the age old saying of, what is meant to be will be, or everything happens for a reason.
Okay, I counter your argument.
I don't buy that.
Liam Neeson and John Rambo. That's all you need. Liam Neeson, he'd find you. He likes his kids.
He'll find you everywhere. I mean,
He doesn't have money. He just has this particular set of skills.
that to me says that predestination is a thing, right? And if you're predestined, then it doesn't matter what you do, you will end up in where you're supposed to be. And I just don't buy that.
But
I believe that you have to make some effort. Like, if you had just did nothing, all right, so you went to school and you're like, I hate this, and then you drop out, would you be where you're at now?
no.
But according to predestination, all you would have had to do was just
Play
do
it out.
nothing and sit in the basement all day, and eventually you'd get your job. You would end up with the woman that you're with, and you see what I'm saying? Like, so no, I don't
But
believe
I-
in predestination.
But I also believe that there's such thing as wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time. So, like, sometimes you could have an opportunity when you least expect it.
I do believe that
You're
there-
given choices.
there is intuition. And I believe that when your gut is telling you that you should not be someplace, then you should probably not be there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's predestination. I don't think it's deja vu. I don't think it's any of that kind of stuff. I think that's the universe's way of saying, hey, you know better than that.
But I also
You know that nothing good can come from this.
See-
Why are you here?
But I believe also in this too is that everybody has a like a time. Like, it's all you have left. Now, it doesn't necessarily say like how you're gonna die or anything like that. You just have a time. So like when your day comes, that's your day to go. Like whether you get axe murdered, head cut off, and like fed to the horses, who knows?
I believe that too, but
But
why are some people's lives they only get 4 years? Some people they get 6 days. Some people they get 106 days. I mean, why? That's predestination.
we don't know.
Like some terrible people get to.
It's Mandela effect.
We are all in the Adjustment Bureau. Exactly. That was a good movie too. That was a good movie as well. So I don't know. Like that's my issue with predestination and
I believe it.
destiny itself.
I believe in destiny too. I also believe in choices too. Like you get handed these choices, and when you do the correct one, like so.
Is that not closer to fate though?
Fate, yeah, because
Destiny would mean from the base word destination, meaning that
You were
nothing
on
you
this-
could do would change or
the
alter
path.
your course.
Yeah.
Fate just means that you are fated, that you have these options out in the universe, and you're choosing which path
So-
to go on.
So it was kind of funny because my girlfriend, she also watches the show. Big shout out. But she was changing to get this new job. Super stressed out about it
Mhm.
and stuff like this. And she did the interview. It went well, and she was still nervous at all ends. She was like, "I don't think I got it. I don't think I did this." But during the week, she was doing things from her time that she got the interview to the time that they actually finally called, and she felt like she was given these choices, and if she made the right choice, she would get the call back for the interview and get the job.
Like choose your own adventure book.
Yeah. So she was like, I went to Taco Bell. They handed me the survey. I took the survey for that person. Because the lady said it would help me out.
And I also believe that life is probably closer to a choose your own adventure book than it is a here's the beginning of your story, here's the end of your story, and no matter what you do, you will get to the end.
I like it.
But I
like
believe that you can say, all right, cool, I'm approaching this decision. If you turn to page 33, you go in the dark, scary cave. If you turn to page 56, you decide to walk away from the cave and not go in the dark, scary cave. You know what I mean? Like, that is probably closer to reality.
Just roll for initiative.
Well, that would be a completely different game, but, you know. But,
I like
I mean,
it.
she's badass at what she does, though.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So, any opportunities that she gets, she wholeheartedly deserves.
But like I said, it was just kind of funny because she did all these things, and when she felt like she did the wrong choice, she felt like it was holding her back. Like it's kind of like that 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or one step forward, two steps back type mentality. So she like tiptoed all week, just making sure she always made the right choice everywhere she went until she got the call. And then she was like, "Oh, it was because I did all this stuff." And I'm like, I like to think that way. I kind of get that good juju, and I'm like, if I do some nice things, maybe nice things will happen to me.
Well, I think that's just the way of the world, right?
Yeah. If this is anything Oregon Trail was doomed.
If this is anything like the Oregon Trail, we're all doomed.
I mean, and not very well.
We're all gonna die of dysentery. We're all gonna poop ourselves to death.
Yeah, but kind of funny, and you know, I like how we got all philosophical, and we didn't even talk about news today.
No, we didn't talk about anything. We had a lot of news.
But it was fun.
Pokemon Day.
Pokemon Day was fun.
Raids, which I'm going to after this. I still haven't beat Mewtwo. He keeps destroying me, which is what we even titled our thing after, but it's cool.
We gotta talk to you guys. We gotta open up about our feelings.
We don't get to talk about our feelings none too much.
No, because our girlfriends don't care.
But on a good, weird, non-philosophical note, did you check out that gameplay footage from PAX East of Baldur's Gate 3?
It's beautiful.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
It's high res, beautifully done.
They said that Baldur's Gate 3 won't run on PS4 or Xbox One. Said it can't happen. It's too hardcore.
It's too beautiful.
They said currently it ain't gonna happen. And that's what they said. And then I saw it and I go, you're right.
As long as it's optimized for PC. If you're gonna go this
It
route,
is.
just make sure it's optimized.
They're releasing Stadia and Steam before consoles. They said.
What was it? Trying to think here about Baldur's Gate. Big yawn. I don't know why I yawn so much.
What was that?
Big yawn.
You have not done that in weeks.
I'm not even tired.
I'll smack you.
Actually, I did clean a lot today. By the way, guys, clean up your setups.
Yeah,
you
I
wouldn't
gotta-
know how dirty they are
I gotta
until
clean
you
it up.
dust them. So, like, high recommendation. Get us a can of fresh air. Get some cloths. Wipe down your desk and dust. I recommend it. You feel so much better. Like, I feel so much calmer now at my
Yeah.
desk. I'm like, man,
It's
it's
just-
going to look so good watching porn tonight.
It's the dust, right?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe how dusty stuff gets. And then you're sitting there and you're like, this is like my dead skin. That's what this mostly is. It's my dead skin, it's my sneezes, it's my boogers that went in the air when I, flipped it or on the floor or whatever. That's what it is.
Probably nails. Nails is bad for me. I'm a bad nail biter.
No, Julia, you don't have to get a gaming PC. Get
Just
Stadia.
Get Stadia.
Go get you a Chromecast, and if that's the only game you want to play, you're talking like a $60 investment, and you're done. Although, get a gaming PC, because there's a lot of really freaking sweet games on gaming PCs.
True story.
Final Fantasy VII, however, ain't coming to PC for a year. So if you want to play that,
SOL.
you're going to have to get a PlayStation 4. I'm just going to sit here and look at you yawn.
Half of that point, I was not even yawning.
So are you getting into Baldur's Gate 3? Is that going to be a you game? Because my goal, I'm putting the shout out there right now. Before Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, I want to finish Divinity 2. Anyone who wants to play Divinity 2 with me, because I tried to get a Dungeons & Dragons game up and going, and that didn't happen. I will play on any format that you want. I want to try and get a full group of 4 people to play once a week, and I want to stream it. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to use your microphone. I will mute you if that makes you feel better. But I want to finish the game multiplayer. That's going to be my closest experience to D&D, because Divinity 2 is amazing.
True story.
When Baldur's Gate 3 launches, sometime, we don't know when, I will be putting out that recruitment letter again. I don't know how many people can play it, though.
Probably 4.
I hope so.
Almost every game.
So if you want to get in on that Divinity 2 action and play with me, streamed once a week, let me know. I will play on Switch. I will play on PC. I will play on PS4. I have it on all of them. All of them.
We need to get like a mixer. That way we can like make the echo sounds. All of them. All of them. All of them. All of them.
So, you know how I subscribed to that Sirenscape thing? I just found out that I'm allowed to use all their sounds on our shows.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thursday co-streams. Jason, by the way, big shout out to you. I've actually popped in a few times on your thing. And
All too
you
easy.
did a good job.
Thanks for
Not
treating.
gonna lie,
Yeah.
I like the green screen.
He's on there.
You got the green screen going. I like it. I think what you should do though, like your character should be like real redneck. Like I'm talking like
He wants you to have a persona.
like I want you to get on the show with like a flannel arms, sleeveless flannel on there, like arms just suns out, guns out. And
I
just,
want
like,
you to only play
cowboy
games
hat.
where I want you to play hunting games,
Yeah.
fishing games,
And
NASCAR,
I want you to sound the most redneck you can when you're playing them.
or you have to play something that's the opposite of redneck. I want you to play Animal Crossing, but all rednecky.
And then just always like at random times just pretend you're yelling at your kids. Like, God damn it, Bucky.
I told you not to put your ding dong in the radiator.
I think that's the character for you right there. Like, that would be so funny. I think I just found my new thing.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't do that. That should be your thing.
I was gonna actually wear a luchador mask when I streamed.
I don't know why you don't. He said I might just do that.
All I gotta say is, if you get big and famous, I want 10%.
Yeah, Jay, I told you before, if you want to do Thursday co-streams, that's cool, because that's the one day I think me and you both stream. I'm down, but I would like to play something that's going to take a while to finish. It's not something that we can beat in a day, and I'm not really big into Call of Duty. I'm not into shooting games. I mean, I might play Splatoon occasionally, but I'd definitely be down to play like Divinity or something like that. Something that's going to take a while
Jason,
to finish.
Jason, you think you're more redneck than me? You ever made out with your cousin?
He's from Tennessee, bro.
That's a yes.
Just tell me the format you're playing on, man. I'll play it on whatever. I'm waiting on my limited run edition. It's coming in the mail on Switch.
So the only problem, Spartan, by the way, if I because I have an authentic from Mexico luchador mask.
Lucha!
Like, I would look like Nacho Libre out there if I could. Like, if I could not wear a shirt and like just the tights and everything.
Dude, leave your shirt on. You are pasty like Casper. Okay.
Sometimes a man's got to wear stretchy pants just for fun.
No, I'm serious. You're almost as pale as I am. If you take your shirt off, you're haunting this house.
I'm telling you. Oh my! Because there's a skin actually in League it's Volibear, but he wears a luchador.
Luchador.
I could just play Braum luchador. That's what I might do it, guys.
I got the luchador Pikachu, and it won't let me transfer it. It makes me very upset. He's very cool looking.
So this is actually kind of really funny. The other day, I didn't even notice it on stream. Like, I muted my mic because I thought I had one of these mics on, and they pick up everything. I like leaned to the side. You can clearly tell I just ripped ass like when I did it. And I think for like a minute I didn't think I was on stream, so I was just like
Concho, I need to borrow some sweats.
I will do it, guys. If you guys will actually watch my streams more, I will stream in a luchador mask every stream, and I'll even wear a cape.
I tried to stream in my Friday the 13th mask when I was playing Friday the 13th, and the first time I tried to do it, my internet was like, that's not happening. I didn't have good internet then. And so I just started streaming Mario Kart with my Friday the 13th mask on. I was like, I'm like Mad Max right now. I'm not taking this off. I'm the Road Warrior.
That's what I'm going to do, guys. That's my new character. Very Coach actually stands for Ultra Luchador.
Ultra Luchador!
Nato!
What is going on the show? What the hell are we even talking about today?
I don't know. But it's really bad right now. Like, we gotta have to end this real soon.
I know, because you probably got a doo-doo.
Not even doo-doo, but I know, like, right now, like, I got a gas bubble just.
Oh God!
And like, I would display it on stream.
We got a rule in the dungeon domain that there is no busting of ass unless it's my ass that is doing the busting.
Yeah.
The dev cut out downloading. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
I thought that was going to be our freeze frame. We should just go like this. Just act like
we were froze.
Okay. You keep moving your eyes.
I can't help it. My eyes got to roll, man. You know, they just got to go.
I'm about to be like Frozen. Just let it go.
Let it go. Yeah, you do. So I went to the movies this weekend. Saw the Invisible Man. Divinity 2 Development Cut. I don't know. Is that PC? I think I got that one. I don't know. I got one of them. It was wow. So you know me, I'm not like a huge remake kind of guy, and I love the original Invisible Man based on the H.G. Wells book. Mostly because he says the word fool at least 14 or 15 times in the movie. It's awesome. He like throws this lady down a flight of steps. She's like some barmaid in like the 1920s or something. It was ridiculous. But the new Invisible Man. Okay, so I don't know if you ever saw Hollow Man.
Nope.
But it felt a lot like Hollow Man, but way more violent. It was way more violent than Hollow Man.
Yeah.
The acting was pretty good, but you know, I walked out thinking like this was good, but it didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
I would say it's a Redbox rental, but honestly, it's one of the first movies I've seen in a while where both the Rotten Tomatoes critics and the audience both kind of agree.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomato critics were like, it's a 90. Critics or the audience score was like a 93. So they're right there.
Yeah.
Recommend a horror movie.
So,
What genre of horror? There's a lot of horror. Do you like slasher? Do you like ghosts? Do you like paranormal? Do you like demonic possession? Do you want zombies, vampires? What kind of horror?
if I'm gonna recommend a horror movie, this is probably one of the most mentally fucking fucked up movies that I've ever watched. Sinister.
I liked that movie. It was twisted.
It was twisted. It was really good. Sinister's a really good one.
If you want a good vampire flick, I would say Let the Right One In.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Sinister was a mind boggler though. Like watching it, it was very unsettling, and it was kind of weird.
You want to watch something just twisted? Watch Memento. That movie will mess you up.
Did you see the new Candyman trailer?
Yeah.
That movie's gonna be
executive
awesome.
produced by Jordan Peele.
It's gonna be great. I mean, he's put out banger movies in
Yes.
the past like 3 or 4
I know
years.
that you weren't a big fan of the other one.
I didn't watch it.
Not Get Out. The other one.
I didn't watch either of those.
I have both of them. You should watch them.
I just
They're
haven't
both
watched
really
it. I heard they're amazing.
good. Get Out is definitely better
Yeah.
than Us, but I liked Us.
Yeah, they're mind-boggling movies. Candyman, seriously, look up that trailer. Like, it's pretty insane.
The new Saw movie. It's not really a Saw movie, but it's a
I watched
spin-off of Saw, Spiral, with Chris Rock. Chris Rock is playing like the lead detective. He's an executive producer. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. It looks like it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and I actually that's another one. One True Villain. Watch all the Saw movies from front to back.
I would say like
They are beautifully done.
the first like 3 or 4 are really good. The
watched-
rest of them are good, but the
I
first
watched-
3 or 4 are really good.
I watched all of them, and like they're not even so much like scary. It's just like it's a scary mystery at the same time. Like I said, it's very graphic. But I watched all the Saw movies. I actually sat down and watched them all, and like how they tied all the stories together, it's amazing.
He says he's watched them.
Yeah.
I'd say if you're alright with semi-foreign movies, High Tension. That movie messed with me for a while. I think The Descent was pretty good. Yeah, like if you want a good vampire flick, Let the Right One In. That one's amazing. If you want a good zombie flick, man, it's hard to go away from the classics, but I'd say
There hasn't really been.
there hasn't been a lot of really great zombie
There
movies.
hasn't been a lot of great zombie movies, but a lot of horror movies recently. I don't know why, but like
The most recent Halloween was pretty good.
Halloween, yes. By the way, watch that one. That's a good one.
The new Halloween was pretty good. It was disturbing in some
I
parts.
thought it was great. Like I said, I absolutely love the movie.
I just watched Doctor Sleep. That movie was unsettling in a couple spots. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was creepy, and I enjoyed it. Especially if you're a fan of the original movie, The Shining. It was really good. And what's his face? Ewan McGregor. He's in it.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
You can't go wrong.
It was definitely interesting. I liked Brightburn, although it was kind of hokey.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with the little kid who comes down and he has like Superman's powers, but he's not a good guy.
The Boy was another weird one, for sure. They have the
The Shining sequel. It was Doctor Sleep.
Yeah,
and it was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies coming out. Like I said, Candyman is.
They said The Boy 2 was pretty good.
I haven't even seen all of the original Boy. Like I started watching it, and I don't remember why I stopped watching it. Maybe I think I fell asleep. Like I watched it late at night. I don't know why I watch horror movies at like 3 a.m.
Trudy says, I just binge watched on Netflix Kingdom. It's a series about zombies. It's great if you're okay with subtitles. I don't mind subtitles as long as the story is interesting. If the action is good in it, or at least it's interesting to watch, I don't mind at all.
It's all about the flow. That's what it's all about.
I liked Jeepers Creepers. I thought Jeepers Creepers was messed up.
Yeah. Eight-legged freaks.
Yeah, that's a fun movie to sit through, though.
Yeah, oh for sure. Especially if you don't like spiders.
Yeah, Eight-legged freaks was good.
That's
Other good horror movies. I don't know. Like I said, I like the classics personally. Like
Insidious.
Psycho. I like Psycho.
All the Insidious movies are good. I mean, yeah, Darth Maul's kind of funny.
I thought the Conjuring movies were good too.
The Conjuring, the one where they're in like England, was disturbing.
What's the second one, right?
I believe
With the nun.
it may have been, but the whole overall of the Conjuring, when they're actually in England and like the girl and all that stuff, and like that one was pretty good. I would say that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I liked that one.
So
The spin-offs haven't been bad. I thought the nun was kind of boring.
didn't they say the Conjuring and Insidious tied together?
No, so the Conjuring created its own like cinematic universe. They have spin-offs. The Nun is from the universe. The one The Curse of La Llorona, that's from that universe. And there's another spin-off too, which its name is escaping me, and I can't remember what it was.
The survival horror game. There's Outlast. There's
What's that survival horror game? It's like a jump scare. Outlast, I think, is the really creepy one.
Outlast is the creepy one, and it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Outlast.
Yeah.
I tell you, I couldn't play that game by myself. I'm a big wuss anymore. I was down here, I was
That game
playing,
was so fun.
had the lights off, I was playing Outlast 2. It was one of the free games of the month. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be sweet. And I was like, nope. About 2 hours into that, I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, Outlast is pretty fun. Both the Outlast, I have them both.
I liked the first one better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. What other ones?
Other good survival horror games. Honestly, I loved the new Resident Evil. Resident Evil 7, I thought it was great.
That one was really
Clearly I have, because I have played it and platinumed it. I played that game 4 times.
good. Yeah, I was the first one to beat it under an hour, though.
You were, but
I crushed that
But
game.
I beat it in VR.
I crushed that game. I was actually flying through that game.
Yeah, you want a good time and you got a VR? Play Resident Evil in VR. That's a good time.
Oh, yeah. I think,
Evil Within. Yeah, Janet mentioned Evil Within. That's a good game.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of horror games.
Not all of them are good, though.
No.
A lot of the horror games are terrible.
There's one that's like, you're in a house and all this stuff, and like, you pretty much just keep looping through this house over and over and over again. And like, the house gets more and more like beat up and deranged and all this stuff, and like more rooms and all this stuff, and it's kind of creepy.
I finished
The
Blair
Paranormal
Witch.
Activity VR game that we played,
It was not bad.
that was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it was kind of creepy because obviously you're in VR, so you kind of feel like you're more into it.
Yeah, I think any horror game, even a bad horror game in VR, is better.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of that, like the Inpatient, that game was creepy. I loved the Blair Witch, the game.
Oh yeah.
It's on PS4, it's on PC, it's on Xbox One now. There was just something about that, and like it spoke to me a lot because of mental illness. Like the guy is clearly has like some post-traumatic stress stuff from being in war.
Yeah.
And the character, like the entity out in the woods, basically messes with him, knowing that he has that. But it was creepy, like the flashback scenes and stuff. Like, it was a good game. The pacing was weird, but when it starts getting dark, and you're in the woods, and it starts getting dark, and you can hear shit behind you, and there's like these weird flashes, like the jump scares, they don't feel cheap, but they will scare you. I promise, they will scare you.
Yeah.
The Blair Witch I can't recommend enough, and it's a short game. You can get through it in about 8 hours.
Yeah. But I always get sad when this time comes. It's our review time.
Yeah, we didn't even get into all of our good news.
No,
It's all right,
maybe
though.
we'll carry it over to next week.
Yeah, it gives us something to talk about as long as it's still relevant. I mean, the Pokemon Day stuff is all going to be over, but I got to get out there and catch Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander.
Yeah, for sure. But kind of, we're going to jump into the review, guys. The breakdown of it, we talked about some Magic the Gathering, us coming back maybe to competitive.
I agree. The
here
Witch
soon.
was stupid.
Here soon. We also talked about Lord of the Rings and
A
how
lot.
beautiful that movie is.
Yeah,
That was most of our talk today.
that's all right.
Talked about some horror, obviously, and then we got into some movies and stuff like that. So,
Go see Sonic the Hedgehog.
yes.
If you haven't seen this movie yet, go see it. Jim Carrey is amazing.
I'll carry on some magic. Hey, man, we're looking for more people to play with just to kind of get back into competitive. Right now, I think we're going to shoot for standard.
Yeah, we're
And
going to be
then-
on Arena.
And then
Right.
we'll probably, if we're playing paper, we're going to go to modern.
I think
So-
we're going to play either Modern or Pioneer.
Yep, so,
Something older.
yeah. But for sure, guys, you guys have been awesome. You guys are really interactive today. We got a few new followers. Big shout out to them.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like the first 5 minutes we were on, I was like, this so-and-so is following you. I'm like, hey!
By the way, Dick Grayson or whatever.
Dick Grayson?
Grayson, seriously, thank you for the follow.
754 fam, and I forget the other one.
Bulldog came in. It didn't show them all. But
yeah, they're over there. On
thank
the
you
side.
guys all for the follows. You guys were actually awesome today. I believe the one guy's still in here, so if you are still in here, he'll probably maybe go in live again later tonight. Maybe. He doesn't know yet. I'll be live probably later as well, probably around the 9-ish time. So thank you guys all so much. Those Two Nerds, episode 31 in the books.
31 in the books.
69, winky face, left until the 100th episode of Tuxedo Celebration. So, and what comes after 69? Mouthwash.
Wow.
Not 70. Tell your kindergarten kids.
Wow.
So I can count to 70. But thank you guys.
Apparently you can count to mouthwash.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Anything else you want to wrap it up
No, I got nothing. I'm still looking for Divinity teammates. PC, PS4, doesn't matter. I want to stream it. It's going to be probably not the most exciting stream, but it might be a lot more fun with people.
with? Yep. And this is my favorite point. I just love hitting the little... Oh, wait, what are you doing?
Well, you got to get it on the one or else the video thing won't play. Now it should play because I know what you're doing. You got to click on the one with no, and then you can go to that one.
Ready? Ready?
I'm ready. And...
Freeze frame.
CELEA.